Back, let's dive right into the deep end now. We continue to follow Tropical Storm Helene as it moves through southeastern U.S. this morning.
Yeah, videos are being shared across social media this morning showing flooding, damage, and rescues. Take a look at this video showing homes floating away in Florida. This morning, we know at least 6 people are dead, including a 4-year-old in Georgia, and around 3 million customers across 4 states are without power. Let's bring in meteorologist George Waldenberger now to continue the conversation. George, let's start with Tropical Storm Helene's path. The storm made landfall in Florida as a Category 4 storm and significantly weakened overnight. What's next?
All right, so what's next will be an ongoing flooding threat and a threat for some tornadoes as well. Looking at Helene, has lost a little bit of its spiral structure. That's to be expected as they weaken, but just remember, with tropical systems like this, it doesn't matter if it's a strong hurricane or a weak one like a tropical depression as far as flooding, inland flooding is concerned. And so that's why the ongoing threat moving forward is going to be the inland flooding here. Zooming in, the center of Helene, now a tropical storm and will weaken to a depression after it merges with another storm, is now beginning to push into eastern parts of Tennessee, and the heavy rain continues, especially on the east side. Notice how where I showed you the center and then all of these watches and warnings, they tend to either be near the center or to the east. That's because a lot of the impacts with tropical systems tend to be on the quote-unquote right side. So in other words, if it's moving northward, the east side, that's where you get a lot of the heavy rains, that's where you get the tornado threat, and that's usually just to the east of the center as it moves onshore where you see some of the strongest storm surge. But as we were talking about, near Atlanta, a flash flood emergency and some more flash flood emergencies over parts of the mountains in the Carolinas. Zooming in, that's a big deal. So that's not just a flash flood warning. This is a situation where the flooding is particularly dangerous and expensive, and it looks like most of the city of Atlanta under that flash flood emergency for the rest of the morning. That's because even though Helene is weakening, it is moving off to the north and continuing to drop rain. All right, so here's the forecast cone, the red line kind of the center of that forecast path. You can see it kind of sits over Kentucky into the weekend. So it will weaken, it will gradually lose its rainfall potential, but still that flooding threat today through tomorrow and a tornado risk on essentially the right or east side of this will continue as well. And another thing I want to show you is our in-house forecast model showing a little bit of good news. By Sunday, a lot of this with a quick zoom at the end, weakening to mainly light showers by Sunday, and this will continue its weakening trend early next week. So a lot still to talk about, even though Helene made landfall last night around 11 p.m. over parts of the Florida Panhandle. 11 p.m. Eastern is a Category 4.
Yeah, and a lot to come in the days ahead, George. You know, these conditions that we're seeing out of the southeast seem like they're quite a bit different from what we experience here in the Pacific Northwest. And we hear this term called storm surge that a lot of people express a lot of concern about. What exactly is that, and why is it so dangerous?
And that's a great question, because a lot of people, even in the southeast, even in coastal areas, are unsure exactly what storm surge is. But think of a large tropical system, or basically a large storm, and the winds around that storm will flow in the northern hemisphere, or around America, counterclockwise. So on the right-hand side of the storm, as it moves ashore, you have the storm movement along with the wind it produces driving. Essentially, the wind is pushing water toward the coast. And over sustained periods of time, that water kind of builds up along the coast. Now, when you add that to high tide times, the storm surge, or the water level rise at the coast, that's what we're talking about, can exceed 10 feet in some spots during drastic events like Hurricane Ian a couple years ago. The West Gulf Coast, it actually just completely destroyed neighborhoods. Once you add wave action on top of that, there's really no structures that can essentially survive that. That is an incredible amount of energy. So storm surge is essentially wind-driven waters rising up the coast. And look at this video. You can see that the rising water, along with the power of the waves, is enough to essentially pick up and just move homes right off their foundations.
Wild.
Gosh.
Yeah, and
waters.
yeah, it is. And you know, a lot of times scientists talk about the most dangerous aspect of hurricanes. Now, each hurricane is different, but it's almost always the water. Okay, and that's with storm surge. If the storm is particularly strong and it produces a high level of storm surge, that's coastal flooding, that can be very deadly. And then there's also inland flooding. So after it moves inland, flash flooding can also cause a significant amount of deaths. So between storm surge and inland flooding, that accounts for about 3/4 of deaths overall, if you average everything, from these tropical systems.
It's a hard statistic to hear, George. And while hurricanes and tropical storms themselves can cause significant damage and death, the aftermath of these storms also a concern. Why do areas impacted by these storms usually see tornado watches and warnings as well?
Okay, because the spin of the wind around the tropical system counterclockwise, on the east side, it tends to set a scenario where the winds change with height in a manner that actually matches or is parallel to, I guess you could say, severe storms that would produce tornadoes. It sets the stage for embedded thunderstorms in the rain bands to rotate. So back when I was in Florida, I was covering Hurricane Irma, and we had Hurricane Irma move on the west side of us in Orlando. Meanwhile, on the east side of us, we had rain bands that were essentially hurtling tornadoes at our coast. We had storms that were traveling 90 miles per hour, and embedded in those storms, embedded in the rain bands, were rotating cells that were producing these brief spin-up tornadoes that were moving very fast. So tropical systems are multi-hazard systems, and you can break those hazards down into the storm surge, the inland flooding, of course, the wind, we're all familiar with those pictures, and the tornado threat. And if you can make it past each of those 4 threats, you can make it through the storm. And there's one more threat that people don't often think about. It's rip currents, and that's because if a hurricane is 1,000 miles away, it can still produce deadly rip currents at beaches in your area if you're in a hurricane zone.
Just so many things that people are dealing with down there in the southeast. George, we should mention that you spent the past 10 years in Florida before coming here to Seattle to join our team. And there's these things called hurricane hunters, and I understand you took part in a couple and actually flew through 2 hurricanes. Tell us about that.
Okay, so yeah, pilots will actually take a team of scientists in airplanes and fly through hurricanes.
Wow.
These are called hurricane hunting missions, and they're actually very serious and very important. They do 2 things. First off, the hurricane hunters, as they go into the storm, great video, thanks for putting that up. As they go into the storm, they can see how strong it is. It's a very direct way to measure how strong the winds are. So that way you know how strong it is as it's approaching. So you can see why that's important. Then also they're taking data. They're actually releasing what are called dropsondes from the underside of the planes. These are like weather balloons in reverse, but they fall through the atmosphere into the ocean. And great video there of what looks like going into an eye. But these dropsondes take data as well. Wind, temperature, humidity, pressure. They actually relay that information back to the plane, which sends it to the National Hurricane Center and into the forecast models. And oftentimes, by the time the next model run comes out, it's using that data, so measurements right around the hurricane, so it gets a more accurate representation of where the hurricane will track in the next 5 days and also how strong it will get in the next 5 days. And that's important because then forecasts can be more accurate moving forward, giving emergency responders the better information to basically give people guidance on how to react, if evacuations should be ordered or if they should be left in place for some areas.
Just fascinating and incredible video. George, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and some of your experience with this.
Anytime.
Oh, smart guy. But
Yeah, no kidding. A lot of experience with those storms,
that
too.
video is so difficult to look at.
It is.
People's livelihoods are really at stake during times like this.
And thinking about all that water, we should note that the power outages now topping 4 million in several states in the southeast. And officials saying that those outages could last days, if not weeks, before all the lights come back on. So a big situation down there.